We were talking about undocumented immigrants and how they get paid, and somebody asked how they can get paid and pay taxes on that paycheck if they're undocumented, if they don't have a social security card. And so I broke down for them the way it used to happen way back in the day when I was in landscaping, and guys would buy fake documentation. They would buy fake green cards and fake social security cards and fake driver's licenses, and they would present all of that at the time that they were filling out the application, and it looks just like the real thing. And so you put them on the books, and the government never really did anything to enforce the fact that the name and social security number doesn't match, because all of those deductions coming out of those paychecks meant free revenue to the government that person was never going to claim for fear of being deported. And I explained how nowadays you can do it through what's called an ITIN number, an individual taxpayer identification number, which the federal government, the IRS, will issue to an undocumented immigrant who requests one so that they can go get a taxable job, regardless of their immigration status. So we were having this general conversation. And of course, there are a shit ton of companies that just pay cash and avoid the system altogether, and make sure that it's completely off the books. But we were talking about how you can actually pay taxes as an undocumented immigrant through your paycheck if you don't have a social security number. And then this gentleman came in. This gentleman here that goes by the name of Kevin Jones. We always pay them cash. They work hard for the money. Did you just out yourself as somebody that employs undocumented immigrants for cash? I agree. Undocumented immigrants do work hard for their money. I've had the privilege of working with undocumented immigrants for many, many years of my life, or had the privilege when I was in landscaping. They are, without a question of a doubt, some of the hardest workers I have ever met in my entire life. Some of the nicest people I've ever met, some of the most family-oriented people I've ever met, some of the most devoted Catholics I've ever met, and some of the hardest workers I've ever met. But you just came in here and said, we always pay them cash. Really? So you support Trump, right? I mean, you can see it in your content that you make. But yet you pay undocumented immigrants cash. So what company would that be for, Kevo? You mind disclosing that, or do we need to do a deep dive and find out where you are and who you work for, that you're openly admitting that you employ undocumented immigrants and pay them cash? I mean, listen, bold move on your part. Hypocritical, considering who you support and who you most likely voted for. Extremely hypocritical, but bold move.